"Hello," said a man with an accent. "This is—" and a foreign name. "Yes?" "The director said you are resident. I am professor of German literature." "Oh," she said. "Might I see the house? He said you might let me see." "Well," she said, "I wasn't—" "Oh, you are working." "Working," she said. "Yes, I am working, yes." "Yes?" he said. "I've just arrived," she said. "I have spoken to the director, and he said you will let me see. I am standing outside the Böll house now." She turned towards the window and picked a green apple from the cardboard box. "I am not dressed," she said, "and I am working." "It is an intrusion," he said. She looked into the sink. Daylight was reflecting off the steel. "Could you come another day?" she said. "How about Saturday?" "Saturday," he said. "I will be gone. I have to go away. But I am standing outside the Böll house now." She stood there in her nightdress with the apple in her hand and thought about this man standing outside. "Are you about this evening?" "Yes," he said. "This evening might suit you." "If you come at 8, she said, "I will be here." "I must come back then?" "Yes," she said, "you must come back." When she put the phone down, she looked at it and wondered why she had picked it up and why they had given out the number. She resented for a moment the fact that there was a number. What had begun as a fine day was still a fine day, but had changed. Now that she had fixed a time, the day in some way was obliged to proceed in the direction of the German's visit. She went to the bathroom and brushed her teeth and thought of him standing outside. She could quickly change out of her nightdress, go out and tell him to come in, and the day would again be hers. Instead, she sat at the hearth and poked the ashes in the grate and stared at a large glass jug on the mantel. She would walk down to the shore and pick fuchsia off the hedges and fill the jug with a red dangling blossom before he came. She would take a long bath. She looked for her watch, but it took several minutes to find it in the pocket of the jeans she'd worn yesterday. She stared for a full minute at the white face. The time now, on this, her 39th birthday, was just past midday. Quickly she got up and went into Böll's study, a small room with a disused fireplace and a window facing the sea. It was in this room that he had written his now famous journal, but that was 50 years ago. Böll was dead, and his family had left the house as a working residence for writers. And now she was here for 2 weeks, working. She wiped off the desk with a damp cloth and placed her notebooks and dictionary, her papers and her fountain pen on the surface. All she needed now was coffee. She went to the kitchen and looked through the box of groceries. She spent more time looking through the cabinets, but found no coffee. She needed milk, also. She would soon run out of milk. But all she wanted to do was work. This is what she was thinking when she took up her keys and drove back along the road to the village. There, without delay, she bought coffee and milk, firelighters, a cake mix, a pint of cream, and the newspaper. The sun was strong when she was coming back along the road, so instead of going directly home, she took the turn south along the Atlantic Drive, where dwellings were few and hardly a bush was standing. She thought about how it must be to live in this place in winter. The high winds driving sand across the beaches, shearing the hedges, the relentless rain, the gulls' cold screeches. How dramatically all of that would change once winter finally ended. On the edge of the road, a small plump hen walked purposefully along, her head extended and her feet clambering over the stones. She was such a pretty hen, her plumage edged in white, as though she'd powdered herself before she'd stepped out of the house. She hopped down onto the grassy verge and, without looking left or right, raced across the road, then stopped, readjusted her wings, and made a clear line for the cliff. The woman watched how the hen kept her head down when she reached the edge, and how, without a moment's hesitation, she jumped over.